What's up, guys? What's up, guys? So today it looks like the Dow soars as their best day in 87 years as Congress nears stimulus deal. But the coronavirus case by Tuesday now has over 46,000 cases in all 50 states, and it's still growing, guys. Now, 10-year Treasury's been up today, and the short of the day is Zoom. It looks like it fell by 15%, and this thing was on a tear from like under $100 all the way up since this whole virus implications came in. Now, the reason the stimulus package was held on Monday was because the House Democrats came back with a new package for 2.5 trillion, which delayed mortgages and car payments, and they went a lot more crazier. But it seems like today that they're coming to an agreement, and that's why stocks have bounced up like crazy. So let's get into this a little bit about what they wanted and what the Republicans wanted. And then once I get news about what did pass, we'll do a little breakdown of that too. So this bill, it would force lenders to grant temporary mortgage and car payment credit card bills. It would stop them from paying that. It would order the Federal Reserve to provide loans to serve as liquidity to all borrowers, to stop paying mortgages up for 360 days, almost a year. Student loan borrowers would receive $10,000 off their debt, and foreclosures and evictions would be banned, which is ridiculous. This is just, it's so crazy. We don't need all this. We just need to help the American people. The Democrats on Monday blocked the Senate majority, which did 1.8 trillion, citing that it lacked transparency and oversight. So, what the House bill required is they wanted restrict executive pay, ban on so-called golden parachute payments for departing executives, and halt stock buybacks and dividend payments. And they wanted this is what the Democrats wanted into the bill. They wanted $15 minimum wage and maintain the workforce and labor union agreements. And they would receive $1,500 versus $1,200 for individuals, and it would require to pay back part of the assistant payments for people that were in the higher tier at zero interest loans, not on the lower tier. And they both bills would boost the unemployment checks by $600. Legislation would authorize the Federal Reserve to purchase state and local government bonds to help with local cities and municipalities to pay for stuff. And the House bill would send $60 billion to universities and schools. So let's break this down. First off, I agree with the Democrats. You don't need. You should restrict executive pay. There shouldn't be golden parachutes, and there should be stock buybacks and holdbacks because they need to pay us first. But we should not be able to dictate how much a company has to pay, how much of their workforce they could keep. This is to keep the company alive, because it's vital to our national security. We keep airlines alive and energies alive, so we're not fending off and waiting for somebody else, right? Now, bumping it up $300, I'm all for it, for Americans to be able to get the money. That's totally fine. But then you're going to make the regular hardworking class Americans with a dual incomes of 150, and for single filers of 75, you're going to make us pay back everything at a 0% interest rate. Why not make every American pay back at a 0% interest rate and make it to 6 or 7 years instead of 3 years? So we are not always the one carrying the burden. That makes no sense. And the $60 billion to schools and universities have trillions of dollars in their endowment. And they're the reason why we're in this college debt, because the government decided to get involved and back these loans. And so universities decided to rack up the charges. So we shouldn't be giving them a damn dollar. They don't need anything. They have enough. So now, this, basically the Republicans, this is a wish list. This is a wish list for what the Democrats are wanting. They're trying to add this on into the bill. They're wanting provisions on federal elections, minimum wage, union regulations, and climate change that the Democrats have long advocated. Trump tweeted back saying the Republicans had a deal until Nancy Pelosi rode into town with her extended vacation. So, for the bill would create, if the House Democrat bill passed, it would create national requirements for states to allow early voting and voting by mail in case of a national emergency. It would stop Trump from issuing any new financial regulations during the coronavirus emergency, which would pretty much slow us down in case we needed to make a pivot. And the House plan would direct airlines that they would need to reduce their carbon emissions by 50% by 2020. So now this is getting into the airlines, and it goes into saying the Democrats' proposal would give $37 billion in grants, which means they don't got to pay it back as long as they do what they say, and airlines, and $3 billion to airline contractors to keep workers on the job. The GOP offered only loans, which it should be only loans. We're bailing them out, but it's on a loan and they should pay us back. And the biggest airline lobby group, they said they needed $29 billion in grants to save a job. Yeah, we don't need to give that much. We could give that much up in loans. They could pay us back. This is, at the end of the day, this is our money, guys. This is not just free money. Airlines would also be eligible for $21 billion in loans under the House plan. The Senate rescue plan would give $50 billion in loans to passenger carriers and $8 billion to cargo haulers, but would not offer grants, and we shouldn't. We're giving that money up front. Let's make it 0 interest or 1% interest or whatever it is, and have them pay it back to us. They need to still do the right thing. This is not free money, This is not a bailout. We're already bailing out the American people on one end. They don't need a separate bailout. The Senate Republicans would give the Energy Department $3 billion to buy U.S. emergency stockpile for crude oil, which is super cheap and super smart right now. The House Democrats didn't want to do that at all. No funding for that. The House draft includes legislation to pass the House on July for the party line votes. So pretty much they're trying to say is like this was already in line to save pension funds. That's key because pension funds are still blowing up, and that is a ticking time bomb. So these measures that the House Democrats wanted to throw in there were going to be to help shore up the financial trouble in union pension funds. So, and usually people that are on pensions usually do vote Democratic. So if something goes wrong, they're going to look to that party. So this is a way for them to use it to shore up their political ways. And basically at the end, I didn't get to highlight this, though, but it's just saying that, people are sick and frightened, and the Democrats are using this national crisis to hold relief hostage. And Congress mandates, they pretty much want sections of the Green New Deal, which would kill American jobs. And, well, actually, I did highlight that, but, they're using this as a way to really get people to get what they want and shove it down their throats, which is not what we need right now. We need the American people first. So I still think this is a huge jump up. I still think volatility is huge, and I would not want to be involved with this at all.